Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and David with you, taking you up to 1 o'clock. About 30 more minutes left in today's show. Going to go to the phone line and welcome in our good friend, Coach Jeff Hines. Jeff, been a while. It's good to hear from you, my friend.
Yes, it has, and as always, glad to have you back. And you're the cog in the wheel that keeps this show moving. So I know those guys are glad to have you back as well.
Oh, well, yeah, they wanted the day off, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Jeff, I look down, and I still have a hard time. I'm thinking this is a misprint, but the number 11 team, South Carolina, comes into Neville Arena, and Auburn sends them out with a spanking by 40, I said. I don't know if I saw that one coming.
No, and I'm in that same boat. I didn't see it coming either. But however, I was in Neville last night, and we kind of talked about this off the air a little bit. The execution was maybe as good as I've seen a Bruce Pearl team at Auburn last night.
On both
they were just, it was like a well-oiled machine.
On both ends, Jeff.
And on both ends, but and here's what's sad about it. Those nights are few and far between because you're not getting those nights every time you step out. You're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And, there's been a lot of talk about Auburn can't play on the road, and yes, I get all that. Well, let's take a glance. They're 3-4 on the road, true road sites, and they're 4-1 at neutral sites. So what does that make them? 7-5? Is that right? Does my math add up there?
That's correct.
So 7-5, 7-5 away from Neville, and what? 13-0 at Neville.
Yes.
Yeah, aren't you, David? You and I've been doing this a little while, and don't you want to be 500 on the road and win it and protect your home court?
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I get it. They've looked ugly. Florida was about as ugly as I've seen an Auburn team under Bruce Pearl in quite some time too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll call it both ways.
Yeah.
But let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's let it play on out, and let's see what happens at the end.
You're right. I made that statement to you by text about that, but Andy broke it down earlier in the show. If you look at the losses on the road, there was really only one bad loss on the road, and that was Florida. The rest of them, we were in the game and had a chance to win those games. So I think we just panicked a little bit after Florida embarrassed us the way they did and hit us in the mouth. But and I said this, Jeff, and I think you'll agree. I think that loss last night will probably help South Carolina when they self-scout and realize some of the deficiencies that we exposed last night. I think that will help them down the road. And I love what Lamont's doing with that team. He's done a phenomenal job. But you're right. The offensive execution last night was about as good as I've seen from an Auburn team. And the shooting percentages, my gosh, that's just – you won't get very many nights like that. You're correct.
Yeah, and look, I'll take it a step further. I agreed with your text when I said that was a great point. But as I reflected back on it as well and started looking at some numbers, it was you're right, Florida hit Auburn in the mouth, and they didn't respond. But you know what? You're going to have games like that. And it's better to have them early than it is late, because when you have them late, a lot of times that means you're going home and your season's over. So, I still like this team. I still say it will go as far as the point guard plays and how they defend and how they rebound and ball security. I think those are the factors in how this team, they may not shoot it well, but if they defend, they take care of the ball, they rebound, they'll be in every ball game. And that's pretty much what they've done all year long, except for a few games.
Jeff, what'd you think about playing Denver Jones at the point a little bit last night? That's the first time we've seen that this year.
Yeah, I actually, my brother and sister-in-law went, and I made the comment to him, I get what he's doing now, and I do. A little bit more veteran guy, a little bit more physical guy, a guy that is probably shooting a little bit better than Aiden is right now. So you got to find him more minutes at some point in time. Well, there's a good place to find him more minutes, and that's at the point guard. I hate it for Aiden. I hope Aiden finds his way because I think Aiden is extremely talented. But Bruce gets it. We're 25. Auburn's 25 games in, and we're closing out five more games, 6 more games, and then the SEC tournament. Mm-hmm. Well, you better start putting your pieces in place how you want to go down the stretch, and I think we'll see a little bit more of that of Denver playing the one.
And Jeff, what about the other one, Trey Donaldson? A great floor game.
I tell you, it's unbelievable.
Great floor game.
Where and we knew he was talented. And I say this every time I watch him play. Every time I watch him play, I tell somebody he could be starting a defensive back for Auburn next year.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
But as you watch him play, man, he is just his decision making, his court vision. That little dipsy-do he had last night where he acted like he was going to spin and then spun right back and went right by the guy in reverse layup. Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, we didn't see that out of him. And I'm excited for him because he's really playing well right now.
Absolutely.
We're up against a break, but we'll let you go and look forward to talking with you next week, Coach.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you Thursday. Take care.
See you, Jeff.
Weekend. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after these messages.